Lesson 2.2, Solving Two-Step Equations. The objective for this lesson is to solve two-step equations with one variable. There is no vocabulary in this section, so you can just leave that part of your notes blank. Solving a two-step equation. To solve two-step equations, you can use the properties of equality and inverse operations to form a series of simpler equivalent equations. You can use the properties of equality repeatedly to isolate the variable. To solve a two-step equation, identify the operations and undo them using inverse operations. You can undo operations in the reverse order of the order of operations. You're going to see in a minute what this looks like. Jot this down in your notes section. Solving a two-step equation. So here we have the problem, what is the solution of 2x plus 3 equals 15? In section 2.1, we were solving one-step equations where we only had to do one thing to solve for the variable. Here we have to do two things. Okay, so if you don't know where to start, here are a few steps. So step 1, identify the operations. What is happening in the original problem? Okay, so in 2x plus 3, we are multiplying first, that's here, 2 times x, and then we're adding, plus 3. Okay, so if you say that to your head, I multiply, then I add, in step 2, to undo the operations in reverse order, we are going to first subtract 3 from both sides. Again, we said multiply, then add, so you're going to undo in the reverse order, okay, inverse operation. So we're going to subtract 3 first because it has no variable next to it. So we subtract 3. Remember, draw your line where the equal sign is, because whatever you do to the left-hand side, you're going to do to the right-hand side. 3 minus 3 is 0. So in step 3, you're just simplifying what you did in step 2. So 2x equals 15 minus 3 is 12. Now this looks like a one-step equation that we were working with in lesson 2.1. 2x is multiplication. So to undo multiplication, we are going to divide each side by the coefficient, which is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Remember, divide by the coefficient, not the variable. And in step 5 again, just simplify. Just simplify what you did in step 4. So x equals 6. This is your final answer. Solving with two terms in the numerator. When one side of an equation is a fraction with more than one term in the numerator, you can still undo division by multiplying each side by the denominator. Now pay attention. It says when one side of the equation is a fraction with more than one term in the numerator, you can undo division by multiplying each side by the denominator. So here we have, what is the solution of x minus 7 all over 3 equals negative 12? So this is where we're talking about solving with two terms in the numerator. The first step is you can undo division by multiplying each side by 3. 3 is the denominator. Okay? So if you multiply all of whatever's on the left-hand side, the entire fraction, by 3, the 3's will cancel. So all you're left with is x minus 7, and negative 12 times 3 is negative 36. That looks like a better problem to work with than the fraction. So step 2 is you're simplifying. We did in step 1. And then step 3, you have to undo minus 7, undo subtracting 7, and that would be adding 7. Again, you want to draw your line where the equal sign is. So whatever you do to the left-hand side, do to the right-hand side. This will cancel. That's the objective. And you're left with x equals negative 36 plus 7 is negative 29. Okay, so let's do some sample problems. To make this easier, I'm going to draw some lines here so that I don't overdo it. So let's look at number 1. Okay, here we have 5 equals t over 2 minus 3. Now you don't want to say t over 2, you want to say t divided by 2 minus 3. So I identify the operations. I'm saying division first, then subtraction. So I'm going to undo the operations in the reverse order. So instead of subtracting 3, because that's the last thing I did, I'm going to first add 3 to both sides. Sorry if my handwriting looks a little weird. Pretty good. Remember, carry the vertical line. Okay? So 5 plus 3 is 8 equals, you didn't do anything to t divided by 2. And remember, negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So now you have 8 equals t divided by 2. Okay, well, how do we undo dividing by 2? We are going to add both sides by 2, because undo division is multiplying. So we have 2 times 8 is 16. 16 equals t. We do not have to do anything else. I know a lot of kids like to write t equals 16. Guess what? They mean the same thing. So however you want to write it is fine by us. Number 2. Again, let's set it up. We'll do green this time. Equal sign is right here. It says 5x plus 12 equals negative 13. 5x means multiply, plus is add. So we're multiplying, then adding. So we're going to undo it by subtracting first. So we're going to subtract 12 from both sides. Bring down the 5x because we did nothing with it. Plus 12 minus 12 is 0. Negative 13 minus 12 is negative 25. Okay? And then we have 5x equals negative 25. To undo multiplication, we're going to divide by the coefficient only. X is equal to negative 5. Remember, you can always substitute the original problem with your solution to check that your answer is correct. And then finally, we're going to do this problem. Here we have 6 equals x minus 2 divided by 4. Okay, so remember this was the problem like earlier. So first thing we're going to do is get rid of that denominator, get rid of the fraction. So we're going to multiply both sides by the denominator. 4 times 6 is 24 equals, and all we're left with is the numerator, x minus 2. And all you have to do here is add 2 to both sides. 24 plus 2 is 26. 26 equals x, or you can write it as x equals 26. All right? Tomorrow we'll do more practice problems in class, but for right now, make sure you have everything written down in your notes and bring any questions you have to class tomorrow. See you tomorrow.